Hello, everyone. It's no secret that the mighty Thor from Marvel Comics is inspired by Scandinavian mythology. In the Nordic myths, Thor also wields his iconic hammer, Mjolnir, a unique weapon that always hits its target and returns to its owner. He can summon lightning and thunder by gripping its handle. But most importantly, Mjolnir is so heavy that no living being can lift it, unless Odin deems them worthy. And believe it or not, more characters have been able to do it in the original comics than you might think. Today, we'll tell you all about them. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Let's dive in! If you've seen the last Avengers movie, you'll definitely remember the epic final battle where Thanos and his army are defeated by the Avengers. But before that climactic moment, a lot of amazing things happen. One of them is when the villain knocks Thor out of the fight, leaving him near death until Captain America shows up and saves him using Mjolnir. That's right, he proves himself worthy. This moment also happens in the comics. In Avengers Age of Ultron, there's a fun scene at a party celebrating Hydra's defeat. Hawkeye jokes that Thor's hammer is just a fairy tale, and Thor challenges him to lift it. Hawkeye fails, as does Tony Stark, even with his Iron Man glove. Only Captain America manages to move it. Just slightly. Come on, Cap! Next up is one of the most powerful Avengers, Vision. He was created with help from Thor and Tony Stark using the Mind Stone. In Age of Ultron, he casually lifts Mjolnir, leaving everyone stunned. Though some fans argue this doesn't necessarily mean he's worthy, as he never uses the hammer's magical powers in that scene, it's still a major moment. In the comics, Jane Foster starts out as the assistant to Dr. Donald Blake, Thor's mortal host. She's in love with Thor, but what many don't know is that later, Jane becomes Thor herself. Odin sends Thor to live in New York as a regular doctor, and during this time, Jane, while also battling cancer, takes up Mjolnir. Unfortunately, the hammer's magic neutralizes her chemotherapy, and her heroic alter ego slowly begins to kill her. Still, Jane continues fighting for good, eventually becoming a Valkyrie. If you haven't read the comics or seen the movies, understanding Loki can be a bit tricky. In the original stories, he's Thor's half-brother and a major villain. However, in the comic series Axis, everything is flipped. Loki becomes a hero while Thor turns evil, thanks to Red Skull's mischief, which inverts everyone's personality. In this reversed reality, Loki becomes worthy of lifting Mjolnir. In the original storylines, though, Loki never succeeds in lifting the hammer, despite many attempts. Only true Marvel fans may recognize this character, who appears only in comics and animated series. In the original comics, Beta Ray Bill survives a fire demon attack that destroys his planet. He and other survivors set off into space. Thor mistakes their ship for a threat and attacks. During the battle, Beta Ray Bill picks up Mjolnir, proving himself worthy. Odin, impressed, has a new hammer forged just for him, Stormbreaker. Fun fact, it makes a cameo in Avengers Infinity War. Oh, hello, Deadpool. He's not exactly your typical noble superhero, but yes, he once wielded Mjolnir. Before you panic, it was a fake gifted to him by Loki as a prank. Still, Deadpool used it to fly and even played baseball with it. Classic Wade Wilson behavior. From the X-Men universe, Magneto is another unexpected character who lifted Mjolnir thanks to his control over magnetic fields. In Ultimate X-Men, he seizes the hammer and causes massive destruction, aiming to establish a mutant-controlled Earth. Fortunately, Valkyrie and Nick Fury intervene, stopping his plan and helping return the hammer to its rightful owner. Wait, Superman? Isn't he from DC? Yes, but in '96, Marvel and DC did a crossover comic, and again in 2003's JLA Avengers. In this story, the two superhero teams join forces against the cosmic villain Krona. During a key battle, Thor willingly hands Superman his hammer, believing he's the only one powerful enough to win. Superman also gets Captain America's shield, though only briefly. Some fans believe Odin allowed Superman to be worthy temporarily, just for that battle. Here's a lesser-known character, Red Hulk, who's actually General Thaddeus Ross. He once led the Hulkbusters, but eventually transforms into a red version of the Hulk to hunt Bruce Banner, who ends up marrying Ross's daughter. During a fight between Hulk and Red Hulk, Thor intervenes. Red Hulk manages to grab Mjolnir, and the two are blasted into space. There, the hammer begins to fail, and Red Hulk uses it to beat Thor, a rare moment indeed. In a 2016 comic, Thanos travels far into the future and meets his future self, King Thanos, who has conquered Earth and defeated nearly every hero, except Ghost Rider and a chained-up Hulk. Then, Silver Surfer appears, saying he had been working on becoming worthy. He grabs Mjolnir and fights Thanos. Unfortunately, he doesn't win. King Thanos stabs him with the Sword of Doom. During the Civil War arc, Thor is believed to be missing. To maintain the Avengers' strength, Tony Stark creates a clone of Thor using a lock of his hair collected years earlier. This clone, Ragnarok, is far more brutal and unpredictable than the original, and turns out to be a serious threat.